Alright, what is going on, guys? So for this edition of Nonsense of the Week, we've got this ASMR YouTuber that simply goes by the name Angelica. And her whole shtick was being like the quirky ASMR YouTube girl. And as you can see in these screenshots, it gives you a little bit of idea of the type of ASMR content she made. It was pretty unique considering the type of content that's made in that genre. So, she seemed to be somebody that was accepting of other communities like LGBT. And she had progressive views. But lately she's been going down the alt-right pipeline and appealing to people like Sneeko and Steven Crowder. And they're probably thinking, if they ever heard about her, they'd be like,
what it do, baby?
Especially Steven Crowder, since you know he's going through his whole divorce with his girl. But from turning to somebody that seemed to be an ally of the LGBT community, now all of a sudden she's this religious woman and shunning the gays and act as if they're heathens in society. And that's what gets me about these religious people, man. Some of them, at least. You know, there's cool religious people. And to anybody that believes whatever they want to believe, but they're cool with their beliefs and they're not just being assholes about it, then props to you, man. But she's not one of those people. These type of religious people really get me. Because they'll be acting like they're all loving. But then they turn out to be assholes. They turn out to be the judgmental assholes. Because isn't the saying God's the only one that'll judge me? But then they're hella judgmental. Because I was looking at Reddit. And you know, the reason I even found out about this was because I had some videos recommended to me from her the last week or so. And then I started noticing her sub count was going down a little. So I'm thinking, what's going on? So I look up Angelica ASMR and then I type in Reddit because, you know, Reddit, that's the place. If you got something weird going on, they'll probably be talking about it. And, yep, they were talking about it in the ASMR subreddit. Because not only was it that, then on top of the sub count going down a little, the comments started to get disabled. So then that's how I found out about her becoming religious and being the worst type of religious person. The person that acts like they're all loving, but actually they're hella judgmental and bigots. So I kid you not, man. On one of these Reddit posts I was seeing, they had screenshots of these unhinged rants that she was going on Instagram in her stories. And people were saying, and I do believe it's true, she's probably going through a manic episode right now. But I was seeing these stories, and one of these pictures, it was saying in the story, oh, I love everybody. But then the next slide, the next screenshot was her saying, I despise the queer community. And then she was doing wild stuff, comparing them to pedophile. I'm paraphrasing. It was something like comparing them to pedophiles and bestiality and that type of stuff. Something like that. That starts the root of that stuff and incest. And I was thinking about this, man. When I was walking before starting to record here, I was thinking of the saying how sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. I'm thinking that saying does not apply all the time about words will never hurt you. How would you feel right now if you're a member of the LGBT community and somebody you thought was your ally is now shunning who you are as a person? of course that's going to hurt. Especially if you've been supporting this person for years and then all of a sudden, this is what they turn into. And even if they were going through a manic episode, I'm the type of person that's not going to excuse degenerate behavior because you're going through a manic episode. And the law feels the same way too. Let's say, because I'm going to give you a personal example of that man. He committed vandalism, but this is the thing about it. This is not me justifying it, but the thing about it was, the reason why this person did what they did was because their boss was a scumbag and was dishonest with them. They were saying about giving false promises about keeping them longer or something like that. So he got fucked by corporate America, essentially. So in that sense, this is not me saying it was right for him to do that, but I would say it's more understand. I don't even know what I'm saying, man, with that, but there's a part of me that has a little sympathy for what he did, even though, you know what I mean? Even though it's not justified what he did, because the person did genuinely fuck him over. But I bring up that example because, yes, but then again, mental health really wasn't what it was at that time. It's not how it's viewed now. It's not as stigmatized as it was back in those days. But even if this happened in modern days, he still would have been charged with vandalism. So that just brings my point. Just because you do something and you're going through a manic episode while you're doing something doesn't give you a free pass. It's just like, hey, we'll just let it slide because you're going through a manic episode. And that's what it is with Angelica. And if you're an LGBT community member and you're just feeling some type of way about what she's saying, and you're like, fuck Angelica, you're perfectly justified to feel that way, man. Because I'm gonna assume, because she had a good following, man. She has over 600,000 followers. So I'm assuming that with that amount of followers, and then she also had OnlyFans as well. With that, I'm assuming that she was getting enough money to have being an influencer as a living, as opposed to doing that on the side and then doing a 9-to-5. It's just like the iDub situation, but worse, man. Because she's actually spewing out hate. But that's just the twisted irony about people like Angelica, is that they claim to be all loving, but then they turn out to be hateful individuals. Judgmental individuals. How are you gonna say that you're an all-loving person, but you're gonna say that I'm gonna rot in hell because I do things like premarital sex, or I use my magic hand, if you know what I'm saying? But how are you gonna say that? I remember one time I went to a Red Sox game, and there was this religious guy, and it's in other places in the city as well, where you get these religious people. They'll be holding signs or choose the way or go to hell. Does that sound like what an all-loving person would do? That seems like something a judgmental person would do. And that's what really gets me about some of these religious people, man. And to be honest with you, when I'll be like on dating apps or whatever, for example, and then I see the girl in her profile says, oh, I'm religious. There's part of me that's like, please don't be that type of person, man. I hope you are not that type of person where it's like, worst case scenario, you're like Angelica. I kind of get a little bit of that concern, because there are a lot of people, not everyone's like that, of course, but there are people that are like that, where it's like, oh, being gay is a sin. Why does it matter what somebody does with their life, man? Why does it matter if you're gay or trans or whatever, if you're an adult and you're with another adult and it's all consensual, why does it matter what you do with your life? But these people want to say they're all loving. And another thing that this situation made me think of was my parents knew this religious woman. And there's a reason why we haven't talked with this lady for years, because it's just too much to handle with that stuff. Like, people that are just religions, their whole personality, they're just, it's just like, can you shut the fuck up? I'm sorry, but it sounds frank for me to say that, but it's just like, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of you talking about God, 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 Jesus, Jesus. But the last time I spent time with this woman was like 13 years ago. And I was saying to my dad, what is up with her, man? Why is she always like, God, God, God? And that's like, there's nothing else to her. She's so one-dimensional as a person. It's like she has no other hobbies aside, oh, worship God, that's it. And he was saying to me, well, she was not always like that. And it's kind of, now that I think about it, it's kind of like that way with Angelica, in a sense, man. Because that's what fans would say that have been watching her for years. If your first encounter with Angelica is, oh, I believe in Jesus and being gay is wrong, then it's going to be surprising to you when you hear other people say that's not how it was. And that's kind of like the same comparison with this woman that my parents used to be friends with. But it's just annoying, man, when you're dealing with somebody like that, because it's not just that's their personality trait and that seems like that's the only conversation they bring to the table. It's the fact that if you actually be truthful about how you live your lifestyle, oh, if I told her that I listen to rap music, devil music, that's the devil music. The devil is a lie, though.
You need to leave.
Or if I were to say, I don't believe in God. Oh, you don't believe in God? How could you say such a thing? Because I just look at this world, man, and to me, this seems like the result of a godless world. And then people give these weird contradictions to me and give me these statements that don't make any sense. Like with my mom, they say even though she got into a car accident, and that's how she found out she had lung cancer, but I've had people, and this is not me dissing those people because their heart is in the right place, but it's just I wholeheartedly disagree with them. And one of these people is somebody I'm a friend with, so it's not just like, oh my goodness, all these people that are saying that, yeah, I hate you all. A lot of these people that say that, I actually have a respect for, because these are people I work with, or these are my friends. But they'll say, oh, God was looking over her. Even though he caused, they say basically he's the one that caused the accident. So I thought God was all-knowing. So wouldn't he, if he was really all-knowing, wouldn't he know of a better way to let my mom know that she had lung cancer? But apparently the best way for God to have her figure out that she had lung cancer was that, oh, I'll cause even more trauma to her life. It's stuff like that that just turns me off to even believing in God. There was a point where I was open-minded to believing in a higher being, but not really being religious, but it just doesn't make sense to me, man, because it's just that. And with like Angelica too, man, you got these people like Angelica, they believe they're spreading the word of God. And they're spreading the word of God through hate? Because in the Bible it says that homosexuality is a sin. So, you're spreading what you think's a loving message, but it really's not. There's all these contradictions that make me just turn off to religion and all that stuff, man. But yeah, this nonsense of the week turned into a religious rant, but I want to say last thing actually. I want to say one last thing before I close this out. Another thing with like these type of religious people, like Angelica or this former friend of my parents, they have this ego, man. That's another thing with it. They are so uppity with their opinion. They think that they're right when it's like, no, it is an opinion at the end of the day, man. Even what I'm saying, I wouldn't say what I'm saying is right. I'm just saying my beliefs when it comes to religion and being agnostic, even though I would say I lean more to not believing in a higher power at this point in my life. That's not me saying 10 years down the line that'll be the same way. Maybe something may happen to me. I'm like, hey, maybe there actually is a thing above. There is some higher power. But these people, they get these egos and think what they're saying is right, man. Even though it's not. You don't know what's right. That's the thing about it. You just have a perspective on things. Or you have an opinion on things. That is it. You have an opinion. What you are saying is not proven fact. It is not proven fact that there is a God or is not a God. You can use facts to back up that opinion if you believe there's a God or not. But the statement, God exists, is not a fact. It is your opinion that could be based on facts. But these religious people like Angelica or this former friend of ours, it's just, my way's the right way. And there was this other person. We never really talked this much with this guy. My mom has this friend. And I don't know what. I don't know if this dude lives over there. He just goes over there every single time there's like some type of a get-together or whatever. We went there for a Thanksgiving one time, and then we went there, I think it was for Christmas or New Year's, something like that. Christmas Eve, whatever it was. And we went over there a couple times, and there was this guy over there. And my mom's friend, she was a Baptist. So this guy, I think he's like the preacher at the church that my mom's friend goes to. And for some reason, it was something about my dad. It was like, you want to have a Baptist lecture with me? And then he's telling all this nonsense about how the world's like, even though this is actually a fact about the world being, I don't remember exactly what he said the number was, but it was like some off number. I was like, bro, how you come up with that the world's only been spinning for this long when it's actually been proven that it's been spinning for way longer than you're saying? And then this is the thing that really gets me about like Baptists. They believe that their way is the right way. You're all loving, right? But then you believe everybody else. So all the other religions, whether that's Muslim or Hindu or Buddha or whatever it is, all those religions, they're going to hell. You know how egotistical you gotta sound to actually believe that, man? Hopefully, instead of posting to IG, she gets help. And hopefully, this is just what people are saying, and it's just a manic episode, and then time could heal all wounds with that stuff, man. So yeah, this is your boy, the whatever kid, and I'm out.